Hi.
Hey, Simon, can you hear me all right?
Yes, yes, I can hear you well. Yeah,
How you doing?
doing pretty all right. What about you?
Excellent. Doing well, thanks.
Nice.
Let me just get set up real quick. All right. So why don't you tell me a little bit why you scheduled a call with me?
Well, so you texted me on Instagram, and I thought, well, why not? I might as well see what you want, or what the deal is.
Well,
Yeah.
tell me why are you interested in learning how to lucid dream?
Well, some of my friends have talked about it some months ago, and they said that they have tried it to a smaller extent and that they liked it quite a bit, but then they didn't do it consistently enough, so that it just kind of faded away. And yeah, but I've heard
Oh,
that it has the potential to be useful.
definitely.
Yeah,
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your work.
my work. Well, I'm just a student in Austria.
As a student, what are you studying?
I'm studying business and economics.
Nice. Okay. What do you want to do with that?
Well, I'm not quite sure. I would like to undertake, I don't know, some different business ventures or something. Like I'm just 20, so I'm not very far into that field. But yeah,
Mhm.
worst case,
But
I'll just at a bank or something.
well, never give up on your dreams. If you have a
Yeah,
plan, take the action for it, right?
yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, so uh imagine you have all the money in the world, right? You could do
Yeah.
anything you want, you could live anywhere you want, be with whoever you want, all
Hmm.
that. You've done all that, you've traveled all the travel you want to do, anything like that.
Yeah.
How do you spend your time?
I would spend my time. It's a good question. I probably spend a fair amount of time with friends, or like people I enjoy being around. That's for sure,
Mhm.
because I've heard that's pretty important, and yeah, I also from experience. Other than that, I don't know. There's many things to do. Like I'm sure I would be able to figure out exciting stuff to do. So I wouldn't just sit around. Like I don't think that would be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh how do you think you'd provide value?
provide value like to the world to be able to make money, or what do you mean?
You have all the money in the world.
Oh, then you mean providing value to other people, or like?
Whatever you want. Remember, you have all the money in the world, you've traveled around, you've lived great experiences. How are you spending your time? You hang out with friends, and now
um
you want to be productive and you want to provide value. What do you want to do?
so like hypothetically you're saying?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Okay. uh well, try to, I guess, cliche, make the world a better place, or at least not make it any worse than it is.
Okay, how
uh,
so?
uh, I mean, true change is pretty difficult to drive. You have to be really powerful, I think, to do that.
You have all the money in the world. How do you do it?
Oh well. Mm, I don't know. Try to have a, I don't know, overall, like in many, like in as many, like have a social, like a somewhat social state in many parts of the world, so that there's like at least some level of social security for as many people as possible, so that the average person still has a chance to move up the ladder, or like make something of themselves, and not just get stuck in just working something or doing a job that they don't really like, but still not, I don't know, not ever being given the chance to break out of that cycle that they don't really enjoy.
Hmm. So, what would that chance look like? How would they break out of the cycle?
um well, unemployment aid. So like, let's say they quit the job so that they have at least some sort of leverage over their employer, like not forever, but like at least for a limited amount of time, so that if they want to make a switch, they have like at least some degree of freedom, or yeah, like the chance to do it, maybe.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Do you understand why we're having this conversation?
I have some ideas why we might, but not exactly sure.
Why do you think we're having this conversation?
Um, Not gotta have something to do with lucid dreaming. I'm assuming.
Well, you're in the state where you're a student. So
Yeah.
what year are you?
Just first year, like
First
entering
year.
second.
Okay, entering second. So you have a few more years left of school.
Yeah.
You have a ton of time, other than doing the education requirements,
That's
to
true.
really think about how you want to pursue the next phase in your life, right?
That's very
And
correct.
and the biggest problem people run into is they try to chase money at the beginning, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with
Mm-hmm.
that. But
Okay.
the reason why we do this exercise is you already have all the money in the world. How are you spending your time? And however you spend your time is what you should be
Mm-hmm.
doing on a daily basis. And if you do that, that's what earns you the income you're looking for. So
Mm.
with that kind of methodology, you know, if you look at some of the wealthiest people right now, like Elon Musk, Jeff
Yep.
Bezos,
Yes.
Bill Gates, what do they do with their time? Right? They have all the money in the world. They could just sit on a beach if they wanted to, but they don't. And why is that? They spend their time trying to benefit humanity in whichever way they think is best. Elon Musk with multiplanetary life, electric
Yeah.
transition, Bill
Mm-hmm.
Gates with overcoming, different vaccine limitations, things like that.
I've
Jeff
heard. Yeah.
Bezos with now into space, but also, kind of revolutionizing how we receive our products. So,
Yeah.
that they don't get to that state by chasing the money. They get to that state by, I want to have a big impact on humanity. How do I do that? And then what happens is people, resources, and capital follow to support that vision. So while you're at this point in your life where you have a bunch of free time, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like a perfect time to think about, how do I want to live my life? How, where do I want to live? Who do I want to live it with? Who do I want to help on a daily basis? Kind of like
Mm-hmm.
actual work would bring me joy, and
Mm-hmm.
how would that provide value to society? So these are like the kind of overarching questions you should think about more. And a good way to do that is with lucid dreaming. You can actually use it as a sandbox, so you can run through different realities you want to experience. And hours, in the dream time equate to minutes in reality. So you can have a lot more time if you choose to really like plan out these different types of futures you want to experience. So that's what I would recommend for you specifically. Like, obviously, some people are dealing with mental blocks or traumas or creativity limitations or financial
Mm-hmm.
issues, but you're in a good place, it seems, mentally right now, where you have that free time to really think about. You could have a huge impact on the world, or you could just have a small impact. Either way, it doesn't matter as long as you're happy, right? Like at the
Fair
end of the
enough.
day, it's your life. You want to have a good experience.
Yeah.
And if you want to chase those big goals, go for it and believe you've already achieved them, so you'll align with them easier. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but just don't limit yourself. Don't
Mm-hmm.
think you have to put yourself in a box. And because the thing you said you wanted to help people with, if you had all the money in the world, is by helping them get to the job they care about. That means subconsciously you're fearful that you're going to be in a job you don't care about, right?
Yeah, to an extent. To an extent.
Yeah, because the thing you said at the beginning of the call is, worst case scenario, I'll go work for a bank, right?
Yes, correct.
So, even if that's not a bad reality,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you're putting yourself in that box of limitations of, I could be doing this amazing thing over the here, but worst case, I'll go to work at a bank, right? There's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with working at a bank, but if you're not really caring about what you're doing on a daily basis, it's not going to
Yeah.
last long.
There.
All right. So these are the type of things, you should just start incorporating more into your day. Like, because this is the most free time you're ever gonna have in your life, right?
I believe that.
So,
Yeah.
and what once that free time is gone, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because then you're working on something you really care about, right? Right now,
Mm.
you're in this like buffering zone of, figuring it out, and then once you really figure it out, all your time, spent on a daily basis, there's 24 hours in the day. 6 to 10 of those you spent sleeping. That's a third of your life. Most people just passively sleep, so they're wasting a third of their lives. And then the other 12 to 16 hours that you have awake, some people spend 5 hours, 10 hours a day on entertainment. So it's really, if you value your time and think about what you actually want to be working on, if you just spend that extra time that you have now of just maybe just an hour or two a day of like building those blocks of things you actually want to work on.
Oh,
If
for
you
sure.
look at most of the top entrepreneurs, what happened to them is they built their companies while they were in college, and they got to a point where they were making so much money that they're like, oh, I guess I don't really need to stay in college anymore. And that's why they drop out. And some people finish it. Like, having a degree isn't as important as it used to be. If you want to work at a bank, yeah, you should probably have a degree.
I agree.
But if you just take it with that methodology of like, this is my buffering time, I'm going to experiment, I'm going to try new things, I'm going to go forth and try to create new ideas, and try to provide value in some form or fashion. And the most important thing is, while you're doing all that, is just have fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Fair point.
Do you have any questions for me?
I don't know. Well, what's the purpose of this call?
The purpose of this call is kind of to feed out why you wanted to lucid dream, to understand your income level, see if I'd be able to help, what type of help I'd be able to provide. And if you're really motivated in learning how to lucid dream, we have options we can go down to do that. Obviously you're a student, so you don't have income to support a big expenditure. So there would be something where it would be more of on your own, where I could, provide email, weekly helps, things like that. If
Oh,
that's
like a newsletter.
It would be a course you could take. You need about like 10 to 30 minutes per day.
Okay.
And it takes about 6 weeks to become a consistent lucid dreamer. You usually have your first lucid dream within the first few days, if not the few weeks. It's really dependent on how susceptible you are to the information. Like, I do the analogy of, like, I had one student, it took me weeks to train him how to lucid dream, but I was on but his kid was having nightmares. So I hopped on the phone with his kid for like an hour, and they had a lucid dream that same night because they were really susceptible to the information. So it's all about how open you are to provide that change. And there's some, like, even if you don't want to end up working with me, that's fine. I can give you some pointers of, what to do before bed, go to the bed at the same time every night.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, especially college life. I got you. But that's probably one thing I'd recommend. Avoid drugs and alcohol.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that already. Yeah. Barely,
Av-
basically no drugs, barely any alcohol. So
Okay. Yeah. Avoid blue light technology like smartphones, electronics, at least an hour before bed. That's usually the most helpful. Things like that will just like prep your mind for better, deeper sleep. And to actually become lucid, and become self-aware, you have to train your brain to start looking for that, because everyone dreams about 3 to 5 times per night. Everyone. Most people just don't even realize that because their brain logs it as unnecessary information, or they don't know how to recognize that they're dreaming, or they're having traumas and frequent nightmares, and the brain's just blocking that out. So figuring out where you're at in that station, and you're not really dealing with any, from what I've heard, you're not really dealing with any serious issues at this point. You're just kind of in that buffer zone of figuring out your life.
Yeah, I'm in like pretty decent position. Like, I'm a student, I'm not forced to go work because of the social state that I live in Austria. So like, I have the money I need kind of for sustaining myself in the short term / midterm, I guess. But yeah, so I would say that my biggest disadvantage is, like, one might argue that I'm in, not nearly in a desperate enough position to truly push myself to actually change, or like to actually better myself,
I got you. There's one caveat I want to enforce here.
Okay.
Don't wish for that, because you will get it. if you're wishing for desperation, I guarantee you'll align with that reality of desperation. So I would take as much value and gratitude as you can for the position you're in.
Oh yeah, I'm extremely grateful.
Yeah, because like there's so many people who are just struggling to get food, and you have, you know, all the resources you need to live out your life comfortably, learn something new, and have
That's
this
true.
time free to see how you can positively impact the world. That's like one of the
Okay.
best positions you could be in life.
That's true.
Um,
Yeah, I
so,
mean, yeah.
so
Yeah.
just take it with a grain of salt, and just, you know, realize, and every morning when you wake up, just be like, oh my God, I'm alive. This is awesome. And then I get to work on what I want to work on. Wow, I got food to eat. I got a nice place to live. This is sweet. I got friends.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that. It's as simple as that. And then, you know, if you end up wanting to do this, I'll send you the link if you want to sign up.
Mhm.
It's
Mm.
if you like go about it yourself, as long as you put in 10 to 30 minutes per day, you'll get results. I'll check in with you weekly over email if you need any additional help, or you need help understanding what type of dreams you're having.
Mhm.
You know, that just base service, it's just 97 per month. It's really straightforward and simple. If you have, I know you're in Austria,
Yeah.
I we could do it through, they have PayPal, you probably have there, right? Or credit cards,
They
things like
do.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if you end up wanting to do it, I'll send you the link. You can sign up. If not, that's cool
Mhm.
too. I'll at least give you enough information to, you'll figure it out. Of, you know, it might take you months or years, but if you do this process, it'll probably take you days.
Mm.
Um, so it's all about how badly you want it and what you want to use it for. That's
Mhm.
kind of the main focus. That's why I do these calls. It's like, why do you actually want to lucid dream? Like, what's the main goal? Yeah, some people just want to fly around. You know, laws of physics don't apply in your dreams. You can do whatever you want. Some people want to like understand their past traumas, their mental blocks. Some people just want to plan for the future, figure out, you know, the right thing to say during job interviews, or try out different jobs and different realities that support those. You know, it really comes down to you, right? Just what it's a sandbox for your mind. It's like it's a
Mm.
loading zone. You can put any information you want and get out anything. Um, and
Interesting.
you know, if you become a consistent lucid dreamer, you know, like most of my students, they lucid dream 3 to 5 times per week, which is about standard. There's hardcore ways to like make that a daily habit, but you know, it's just not necessary for where you are right now.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and if you don't have any more questions for me, I'll go ahead and shoot you that email of where you can sign up if you choose to. If not, you know,
Mhm.
just keep building and growing.
I would definitely, I like, and I might sign up in the future, I guess. But for now, like you said, that there's also free resources available. I think I would like to start with those.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's it for now. Do you have any more questions for me?
Well, how has lucid dreaming impacted your life?
Pretty great. Like I've used it. I originally did it because I found out that Nikola Tesla and Albert Einstein used it to come up with their inventions and equations. So I
Really?
kind of wanted, yeah, I wanted to have a like
Huh.
big impact on the space industry. So I've been using that personally for that. And then I've been helping, you know, people overcome, you know, really big traumas, mental blocks. I've had some pretty interesting use cases. So that's kind of how it's helped me. It's like, well, how can I provide value? And
Mhm.
if you have a direct line with your subconscious, you can really achieve anything you want. Um, so yeah, that's how it's helped me.
And what do you like? Is this your main thing that you do, or is this like a side thing, or like what's?
I mean, it's kind of more of the side thing now. I do like 40 hours a week of this and 40 hours a week of the other thing. So they're kind of like equally spaced out right now.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
What's the other thing?
Oh, I'm building out electric propulsion right now. The end goal is to replace rockets, so we don't have to keep spewing chemicals into the atmosphere. So basically,
Huh.
having electric propulsion capabilities that can get to low Earth orbit and back with rapid reusability.
Hmm. That sounds very ambitious.
I mean, most things in life are, right?
I guess so. Whew. Damn, that's a tough challenge.
It's a fun
Huh.
challenge, though. You know, do what you're passionate about, right? It doesn't feel like work.
That's nice. Where are you based?
I'm in Memphis right now in USA.
Okay, cool, cool. Huh. Uh, nice. And so you just cold message people on Instagram and see how they react?
Yeah,
somehow?
because like I like to see the different use cases for lucid dreaming. Like
Mhm.
I have high income people who want to make more money. I
Okay.
have, people on disability who want to overcome their traumas. I had this
Mhm.
one interesting use case where she was in a coma for several months and lived out multiple realities in the coma. Like normally when you wake up, you don't remember those, but she
Okay.
remembered having a whole family and other things like that. And then she woke up in this space reality we call, and she had a kid, and she's like, how do I process which reality is the real one? So those are like interesting use cases I have.
Hmm.
And it's like a fun mental challenge of helping people out, helping overcome their difficulties and growing. Because like lucid dreaming, it literally applies to whatever you want. Like I help someone overcome cigarette addiction through lucid dreaming. So it's like whatever you want. It's like a subconscious platform to rebuild your habits, and kind of
Hmm.
live the life you prefer.
But I guess there's like one caveat would be that one might argue that it's like I don't know if it can be scientifically proven. Like I'm not saying it's BS or anything, but I'm sure that there's people out there who say like, oh, it's I don't know, not real or some pseudo science or something. But I mean, I'm sure there's some truth to it because I've heard quite a bit about it, and it seems to have at least a significant degree, like an attachment to reality. So
Yeah, it's like if you actually study scientific studies, what
mm-hmm.
happens is the breakthrough technology that's kind of like that it's kind of mind-blowing is usually
Mm-hmm.
10 to 20 years ahead of whatever mainstream science is saying, because to
Mm-hmm.
be equated to mainstream science, they have to have years and years of scientific studies breaking down specifically what works, why it works, and how it works.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're at the like leading edge of new ideas, like there's cancer research being done right now where they use sound frequencies to destroy cancer cells. Now, someone might say, "Oh, that's pseudoscience. That's impossible." But with
Mm-hmm.
enough
Mm-hmm.
years of showing specifically how they target those specific cells, what sound
Yeah.
frequencies they use, all those things, that's what then makes it acceptable into mainstream science. It's just like
Mm-hmm.
if you
Interesting
if you
point.
yeah, if you think about like a couple hundred years ago, mainstream science believed Earth was the center of the universe. Uh, so mainstream science doesn't always know everything, but
Yeah.
with enough information, enough scientific study, enough
Mm.
hypotheses, and evidence to support their proofs and belief systems, then it supports that reality.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, I mean, would you agree to the statement that to more or less of an extent, people are able to, I don't know, create or shape their own reality, like through their like thoughts and stuff, like because like
That's the foundation of everything I teach. It's like your thoughts, your beliefs, and your actions create the reality around you, right? Your thoughts are the things you think every day. Your beliefs
yeah,
are the things that you continue to think about, and your
yeah,
actions are the things you do based on your belief system.
as a yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, what's the
It's-
difference between a homeless person and a billionaire? Other than external factors, their thoughts, their beliefs, and their actions. And that's what then shapes your external factors to an extent.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like, I mean, you probably don't have this in your, but I'm so inclined to think like, oh, my thinking is just my thinking. Like reality is, I don't really have power over that. But more and more, I'm thinking like, well, probably yeah, if I improve my thinking or beliefs or whatever, then it might help me, I don't know,
Exactly.
get
Well,
go further.
yeah. If you follow the quantum physics model of reality, where there's infinite realities and infinite possibilities, you have to wonder, why are you experiencing this specific reality? Out of all the infinite realities you can experience, you're experiencing this one. And then you realize, oh, my brain is just like a radio transmitter, and whatever frequency I'm tuned to, that's the reality I'm experiencing.
I guess so. It's are you like so you do this like 50% of the time, but on the other hand, like you're an actual like science person?
I
You
I,
need
I guess I'd be called a business person who dabbles in physics. I guess that's my,
okay.
because like I went to school for business, but I've been teaching myself physics for the past 3 to 5 years and leveraging lucid dreaming to help with that.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, it's like I put about 40 hours a week per thing. Um,
Mhm.
that's kind of the max I can do is 80 hours a week of work right now. I'm trying to bump it up, but like there's only so much you can do before your
Your
work
mindset.
starts to decline, and
Yeah.
and your mental capacity. True. Yes. So yeah, and then you get so much extra time being a consistent lucid dreamer. Like normally that time is spent passively sleeping. You can access hours more of your day. So, your normal 24 hours a day, you can access, most of it. So that's pretty nice. And you always wake up feeling refreshed and for a new adventure. So that's pretty cool.
And you mentioned going to sleep at the same time every day, or like roughly the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's scientific studies that support the idea that we should be going to sleep, like the human body is naturally supposed to go to sleep within an hour of sunset. Now, for most modern day humans, that's unrealistic, right? Because we have technology, we have electricity, lights, everything that keeps our brain alert and awake. But like realistically, like if sunset's at 7:30, you should be in bed by 8:30, if that's what the science suggests, and then wake up at like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I've been testing out about 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. That kind of seems like a sweet spot, because like the more hours you can go to sleep before midnight, the more deep sleep recovery you get. And then the majority of REM cycle sleep usually ends up being between midnight and like 3 a.m., usually around there. It's slightly different for everybody, but everybody like cycles through 10 to 30 minutes of REM sleep, which is when you lucid dream. And they cycle through those 10 to 30 minutes 3 to 5 times per night. So you have 3 to 5 times every night to experience a lucid dream, if you can access that part of your subconscious. And that's what I teach. There's specific protocols you'll learn in the course. Like basically, it's just 10 to 30 minutes per day, right before you go to sleep, right when you wake up. And it's really guided. I set it like guinea pig trials, where my goal was to have 100% success rate and get lucid dreams for everybody in the shortest time possible. So I started several years ago, and what I would do was I would teach one-on-one, see what worked, add that to a course, and then have people take the course where they don't even speak with me, see what works, what questions they have, and then evolve the course based on those questions. So I've gotten to a point where I could have students where they don't even speak to me ever. They take the course and they get results, because it's that systematic and laid out to whatever specific goal they're trying to achieve. And I keep evolving it. There's always new things to add. But yeah, that's kind of how I go. And then I like to do these, fun, 40-minute chats of just seeing where people are at, why they want to lucid dream. And then if I learn something new that I haven't heard before, I'll add that into the course as well.
What's something new that you recently learned?
There's this growing trend of, high income people who want to make more. And there's usually a mental block, like they had a mental block they had to overcome to first earn the income, high income, like if they started out poor, and then take that high income to the next level, where they create for themselves another mental barrier. So that was interesting to learn about, because like logical thinking is, once you go from poor to rich, you just keep getting richer. But there becomes a mental threshold you create for yourself based on your previous, poor mental thinking. So that was something I learned new most recently, like in the past few days. And then now I'm learning, about your interest level, like when you have all the free time, like when you're just in college and you have all this extra free time. How are you applying that time, right? So I learned something new from every call, and hopefully I can provide enough value to, even if you don't end up working with me, you'll still get positive results. It might not be days or weeks, it might be months or years, but you'll still get results down the line. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, right. All right. So let me just confirm your email real quick. So the
it's with the 4M's.
4msimi2002@gmail.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and send you the link if you want to sign up. It, like I said, it's just $97 a month. Cancel at any time if you don't like it. You can use PayPal or credit card to sign up, and then you'll get results pretty quickly if you just do the work. It's that simple.
Interesting. And regarding this, the people with the high income, like mental blocks. So, for example, they go, I don't know, from 0 to 5,000 a month, and then they want to get to 50,000 or something, but they initially think like, oh, they will never get past 10,000 or something.
Usually the first mental block is 0 to 10K, and they fall somewhere along that. And then once they hit that, the next goal is usually to 50 to 100K a month. And then the next block is 100K to $1 million a month. And very few people get to that, because you have to keep overcoming. And once you hit 100K a month where it's mostly profit, you know, that pretty much covers anything you could possibly want to buy, you know.
That's
so but like then it becomes a game, right? Like they're doing it because they love it, not because they're chasing the money. But they still have to overcome that 100K to $1 million barrier. And then usually it jumps from million to 10 million, 10 million to 100 million, 100 million to $1 billion. And at that point, you have so many employees, it's a full-time business, you know, like it could run even if you weren't there. You set up leadership in place. Yeah, it just becomes a whole different organism at that point. Like people at the top, like Elon Musk, you know, they start out at zero, like everybody else, but they have to overcome those mental barriers and blocks every time, and believe that not only they can achieve what they want, but they've already achieved it. So they take the proper action to support that belief system.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, sounds reasonable.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, if you want to sign up, feel free to check out the link. You have my Instagram. You can shoot me any questions you may have.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good one, Simon.
You too. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Peace.